ready? It's the Roundtable with me, Robert Bannon.
I am so excited. Hey, everybody. My name is Robert Bannon. Thank you for joining us at the Roundtable. If you asked me to list some of my favorite voices of all time, our next guest is definitely one of them. When I had the opportunity, even in my fifth grade classroom in New Jersey, the bell just rang, the students were just dismissed. We ran up here and I said, I have Miss Oleta Adams is here. From Circle of One to Rhythm of Life to Everything Must Change to Holy is the Lamb to Women in Chains to get here. She's here. She's here. Nobody writes a song, plays the piano, sings a song, or covers a song like Many Rivers to Cross or New York State of Mind or Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me like this next performer. It's always an honor and a pleasure to talk to her. Oleta Adams is here.
Thank you so much. That's so sweet of you to say those kind things.
No, it's 100%. And please excuse us. We are in the middle of the elementary school classroom.
Oh, wonderful.
And I am certainly a student of yours. Congratulations on everything. And congrats on this new upcoming Northeast tour that has got you all down the Eastern Coast. What can you tell us a little bit about what it's like when we see you on the road?
Oh, wow. It's been fun this year, you know, after being locked up for 2 years, and it gave you a lot of time to think and be grateful for what we actually have been able to do in the past and are able to do this year. And the people have been so hungry just to get together, just to be together, to listen to familiar songs or something new. And I'm happy to, you know, I think the whole world really wanted to scream at some point and or at least let exhale. And hopefully they'll feel like they are able to do so and not alone this time by all of us being together and listening to music that makes us feel good. An opportunity for us to express ourselves and talk about all sorts of situations and problems, because if you've been locked up for 2 years with your family or significant other, then you find out who you really are.
Oh, I understand that. If you want tickets and tour dates, make sure you go to oletaadams.com. She'll be everywhere from Jersey to Pennsylvania, and some dates with Peebo Bryson.
Yeah.
I mean,
that should be fun. You know, I've worked with Peebo before. We've done Colors of Christmas before, and what an amazing talent. The guy has not missed a beat, and he's a dear friend of mine, and it's just an honor to get a chance to share the stage with him again.
Well, you want to talk about two voices. That's going to be a magical evening for sure. So make sure you go to oletaadams.com. I remember speaking to you and being very moved. Your story is quite, and I know you've told it 8 million times, but your story is it's a fairy tale. I mean, you're from Washington State, and you grew up in the church and started singing. And when you moved to Kansas City and were working in those hotels trying to pay your bills, playing piano in lounges, it's a story out of a fairy tale. For people who are just watching, do you mind giving us a little version of what exactly ended up happening?
You know, 17 years into my career, working in Kansas City at the Hyatt at Crown Center, the group Tears for Fears were touring in America, and they came to Kansas City. They played Memorial Hall, and they stayed at the Hyatt at the time that I was there. And so, you know, what do? You shower after your show and have a drink. So they came downstairs and listened to this trio that was playing. That was John, and I had a bass player, Dawn, and I was playing piano and singing. And I guess I knew that they were there because I had several sets in the night. And John, who is my drummer, he came over and said, Tears for Fears is here. And I'm like, what's a British pop group gonna do for me? and so I did not meet them that night. And I sang the songs that I've been singing for years. Everything Must Change. I got to sing my song, stuff like that. And 2 years after they heard me, they called the hotel who put them in touch with my agent at the time, and they gave Roland my number, and he called me up at home and asked me to be a part of the Sowing the Seeds record. And he specifically wanted me to sing a song called Woman in Chains that he had written. And he said, we were so moved that night that a trio had more emotion than, this big band with all of this equipment and stuff. And I want you to put that same kind of emotion into this song. And so then a couple of weeks later, he and Kurt came to America just to visit me. I kept saying, are you on your way to someplace else? Nope, we came to see you. And so I was thrilled. For 3 days or so, they came to my gig. I was playing piano bar, and they came and checked out my show, and we spent the days together talking so that I could get a chance to know them. And the rest is history. That next year, I ended up recording with them, and then I ended up getting a deal with the same record company.
Here's a picture from Women in Chains. You talk about a vocal performance by you. That vocal performance is a masterclass
right.
It's gorgeous.
I listen today and I go, ooh, that girl could sing. I mean, it's like, that was the summary of my early career. All the different parts of my voice that I use, that's the kind of training that I had. And I would put this up against anything that I've sung. It's a different style, but it uses everything that I'm capable of. And the production of that song is classic, and it fits in today. And it's definitely one of my favorite songs.
Well, it is stunning. And then you said that leads you to your own recording contract and putting out a record. And I mean, I remember the Oprah interview. I remember the yellow ribbons. I remember the music videos. I remember the moment. It was the perfect song at the perfect time with the perfect album. And of course, we're talking about the Circle of One album, multi-platinum, played. I'm on the elliptical machine at least once a week at the 24-hour fitness in Jersey, listening to this album. I mean this from start to finish. It is such a beautifully produced collection of music. How did this album come about, and how did you back then put together this incredible catalog of songs that some are you, some are covers, some are written by other great people? How did you pick this material?
Well, you start with what you know. And I had been singing in my shows Get Here. And so that was the first song that Roland asked me, what would you like to sing on this record? And I said, well, I know I want to record Get Here by Brenda Russell. And of course, I think they heard me sing I've Got to Sing My Song. And they said, you have to do that one. It's so personal. Explaining to my father, who was a preacher man, why I chose this as my career. And I had written, a few other things. Actually, not until after I had worked with Roland did I write Circle of One. And I experimented with that song, where you take a song that could mean one thing to me personally, but the words are composed in such a way that everybody has their own meaning. But in truth, the company then sent me to the U.S. because I was actually signed by the the British company, Polygram Fontana. And they sent me to LA to write with other writers. And it was the loneliest time I'd spent in my life. And because, working with other writers, they went, oh, I've got this song, and this one's for Anita, this one's for Whitney, this one's for Mariah, whatever. And I thought, okay. So I wrote my own song, and Circle of One. My intention was never to go back to that circle of just me.
Well, it has got it's beautiful lyrics, and musically, it's from the beginning, from that sound in the beginning of the song through the whole thing and the beat and the kick of the whole song. Mm-hmm. You are so synonymous with these beautiful ballads and these jazzy numbers and you at the piano, but that is a song that will get your blood pumping, and it is an anthem.
That was actually, Circle of One was really one of Oprah's favorite songs. She worked out on that one. And but the song that brought her out of the shower was Get Here. And then Rhythm of Life had been recorded by Tears for Fears for a record, but they never used it. So he reworked it for me because he felt like Rhythm of Life didn't have enough rhythm. And of all the songs that I've recorded, that one has been remixed the most often. I don't even, gosh, they must have about 15 different remixes, and I wouldn't even recognize the song. I was on the air once live, and they started the song and said, now, you hear this song? Do you recognize it? And I said, no, I don't. And they said, what? I didn't know that particular version of the song because it had been remixed so many times.
Well, another song, such an interesting lyric, the Chinese Dragon, the Lucky Chinese Dragon, the whole journey of that song is it's poetry. And that's what your work really is. It's poetry, it's art.
Yeah.
And I would be remiss while we're talking about these songs to not bring up Everything Must Change. You're on the record and in your live performances, if I go down the rabbit hole and listen to your music, you want to talk about a bellowing vocal performance by you. What's amazing about your voice to me is every color and emotion, like a true actress, that comes through in this song. And then you hit that note and you have that beautiful piano solo in the middle of this, and you take us on a roller coaster musically as well as the lyrics. How did you discover that song?
Everything Must Change was written by Bernard Eigner. And back in the days when Quincy Jones was making a record about every other year or so, and they were perfecting the sound of stereo. That's when they had the LPs. And man, when you played your system in the house, you just sat down and really listened. I don't know if they do that anymore today, but that song really sang and sent a very special message to me. And it has really moved me and stayed in my heart all these years. And the thing is, it's needed all the time. That's the one thing that is constant in life is change. And sometimes it hurts. Sometimes it's a relief. And so when I start the song, and it's so moody, as you said, it's got a wonderful moodiness to it. And then there's, I don't know, and it's like going to church on the other side of that as well. So it's one of my favorite songs, and we could just stay there all night as far as I was concerned. So
it's the lyrics, when you listen to it, make sure if you're watching right now, go listen to her version of the song, listen to those lyrics. I think that a lot of your music, from Get Here to Everything Must Change to even Circle of One, in these crazy times that we're living in, the lyric of these songs are as prevalent as ever.
Yes, they really are, because we have been through some serious changes. And I see it now. Now, you remember our grandparents or uncles and our parents even, when they used to hate change and talk about the way things used to be, or get together with their friends and their greatest conversation was about who died lately. And unfortunately, we're at that point in our lives, or fortunately, I don't know. It's all good. It's just the way of life. And it's teaching us how to appreciate the moment and how to live in the moment.
Well, speaking about, as this truck passes by, speaking of being in the moment and your roots, and a lot of our roots coming from church, you've recorded a staple of and a song that I've listened to a lot. My partner sings it in his church services. He scoured for a key that worked for him, and the sheet music.
Okay, that's funny.
And
I'm sorry.
We're talking about "Holy Is the Lamb," such a beautiful song. Again, a beautiful vocal, but so many meanings can be interpreted from the song. But the feeling and the emotion that you give that, and your whole gospel album that is out, that make sure you stream that album. How did you come to choose that song out of all the material that you had available to you? What spoke to you the most about it?
I was in a recording session in LA with Brenda Russell, and we were doing a song for the end of one of the movies. It was one of I forget the title of it, but Whoopi Goldberg was starring in it. And we took a break. And during the break, Sarita Wright is a friend of Fred, and they were in the choir that was singing background to the song that we were recording. And Sarita came up and said, Fred's got this wonderful song, Oleta. You got to hear it. You really need to hear it. Fred, come play this song. So Fred White played the song, and I went, oh my gosh, that's beautiful. I said, well, if ever I record a gospel song, I'd love to use that. A few years went by, and when it was time for me to record my gospel album, then I called him up. I said, have you given that song away? He said, no. And I said, send it to me. And it was, some songs, it's like putting on a particular outfit that you feel has been made for you. And that's what that felt like. And it felt right in here. It just felt it's a wonderful praise song. It's a great reminder when we get all wrapped up in churches and everything is very animated and all. It reminds us to just go back to square one and center ourselves and realize that really the greatest part of this whole spiritual thing that takes place must take place in here first, inside. And that there is a holiness not only about our faith and whom we believe in, but also human life and our lives are holy lives and should be thought of, that life is holy. But we're, because we get up so carried away with the me, but we're all connected to each other, and that in itself is holy. And that's what that whole trip was about. Christ coming down and letting us understand that God is with us, and that makes us holy. And so it's a great reminder. It's a great self-centering. And I guess that's what really helps people to just kind of calm down and put things into proper perspective.
Oh, and it does. It's a meditation in a lot of ways. It is
exactly.
It is a meditation. It is a beautiful, beautiful piece. So make sure, go on to wherever you listen to music. There are Oleta playlists. Start from the beginning and go all the way through the end. There's 50 songs on the Essential Oleta list on Spotify. They have one on Tidal. They have one on Apple Music. Go listen to these. It's a whole range of emotions and musical styles that you can do. I have to bring up, because we're getting into that holiday season. As we reach the holiday season, make sure you also add Oleta's Christmas album to your playlist. That's also available for you to stream. It's a beautiful. The fifth grade listened to you all day here in North.
Thank you for that.
We listened to you all day. We listened to them all. And your latest live album was called Third Set.
Yes.
Would you like to tell us a little bit, how'd you pick these songs and put this piece together?
We were performing in the teens of 2000s. We were as a 4-piece group around the country, and I threw in a few songs and said, let me try this. And the response was so beautiful. I thought, well, let's make a little package, a little gift to give to the public. So since we had performed it so often, we just basically went into the studio, and in two and a half days, we put this down. It's called Third Set because back in the days where I played the clubs, I played Crown Center here in Kansas City for so many years. The first set was basically to get the people relaxed and enjoy. The second set was for them, but the third set was for the musicians, whatever we felt like doing. So that's what this album is about, what we felt like doing.
Well, it has so much energy, and it's such a beautiful arrangement of music for sure. So I know that you're always cooking up something. I know you released a single over the pandemic. I know that there's more concerts and more music that is, when you're an artist the way that you are, I'm sure it is in your blood, and it's you eat, sleep, and come up with all sorts of ideas. Do you keep a schedule? Do you keep like a writing schedule or a playing schedule? Is it as it hits you? Are you someone who has to say, I'm going to write today or I'm going to practice? What do you do?
No, it doesn't work that way for me. First of all, I have to have a reason to write. There needs to be, it needs to be, I need to feel compelled to say something, or something that I've experienced, or someone that I know who has experienced something, and I feel like I can contribute to them. And I admit that those times are fewer these days, or I haven't figured out how to say what I'm feeling. And so I was not creative in that sense during the pandemic. I was more creative in arranging hymns and things for our church, who had to suddenly learn how to have an online service when they weren't used to it. So my husband and I, John and I, did all these different arrangements. So it was more here. I didn't sing, I was playing, and I learned a lot there. I think something will probably come out. I'm waiting to see what that's going to be, but I notice I've been focusing more on my playing in lately, and doing things that normally I didn't think I could do.
Yes. Well, I know your husband you're both artists, you're both musicians. So that church is a lucky church to be able to call Oleta Adams and say, hey, can you arrange a song for a virtual service on Sunday?
Yes, I know.
Whose church gets that opportunity?
Yeah.
This weekend, starting in Maplewood, New Jersey, going to Pennsylvania with People Bryson, and et cetera. You're in Maryland. You're all across the East Coast. Can you give the viewers at home a little idea of what we can expect when we show up to one of your concerts?
Oh, I hope that they feel warmth. That's the thing. When I hear comments from people about what the show felt like, I hope they feel like they're in my living room. We don't have any smoke and mirrors. It's just us playing music, but it's all about the feeling. The songs that make you feel good, the songs that are familiar. I like to try to address the fun side, the serious side. Maybe we can all be enlightened in some way, the spiritual side. We want to cover it all and address, just make you feel like you belong. And that's something that is really important right now. We've felt like fish out of water for some time. And I hope that we can get together and share the love.
Oh, well, I'm making this promise to you right now. I will be at the show this weekend. I will be singing along to every song. I've been listening and preparing because your artistry and emotion. I'm at the church of you, because your work is a lecture. It is a sermon. It is a body of love, and I feel that way when we listen to you. And I know that in person, it's only going to be even more so.
That is so kind of you to say. Thank you.
I know that the work comes at a cost, and you sacrifice a lot at home and et cetera to be on the road to share your message, and it does not go unnoticed. It's very appreciated by us, so thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Get your tickets, everybody. Go to OletaAdams.com and find out, and you can stream her music wherever music is heard. And if you want to follow, go to the official Oleta Adams on Instagram so you can be up to date on everything that's up and next. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. It's an honor.
Thank you, Robert.
Thank you so much. What do you say after spending time with someone like that? She is a light, and a bright light at that. She's such a beautiful performer in person and spirit. Thank you, Miss Adams. Thank you so much for being a part of this show. We gotten to speak to you and know a little bit about you over the time, and you are as kind and as generous as can be. Everybody, the show is called The Roundtable. My name is Robert Bannon. Please like, comment, and share this. Subscribe to our channel, click below, and make sure you visit me at robertbannon.com for more information. We're live every single Thursday night, and then we pop up with these special roundtable talks with some of your favorite artists. We don't do scandals and gossip. We just talk about artists, about their art. Thank you so much for being here, and until next time, I wish you all the best. Have a great day. Bye, everybody.